Hello and welcome to this episode of The Buzz, the show that we tape right here at Abington Cam Studios at Abington Middle High School. My name is Shawn Reilly and proud to be a host of The Buzz. This is a show where we try to bring you inside the halls of Abington High School and show you and introduce you to some of our outstanding student athletes, give you an idea of what's going on in the school, out on the playing fields, on the basketball court, in the hockey rinks, and just inside the halls in the classrooms at Abington High School. And I'm real happy today to be joined by two lovely young women, Maeve Duquette and Makayla Gunning. Welcome aboard, lady. This is Maeve sitting immediately next to me, and Makayla to my far left. You two are members, or were members, of the cheerleading squad during this past fall, right?
Yeah.
And you're a senior, Maeve. Mm-hmm. You're a junior.
Yeah.
How did you guys both get into cheerleading?
I started cheer in second grade.
Second grade.
Yeah. It was just something that just like piqued my interest. Me and my friends were doing it. And then as I started getting older, I got into competitive cheerleading. So I cheered for the Abington youth football team and at a competitive cheer gym, and I traveled to compete for teams there too.
And Makayla, how did you get started? When did you get started?
I was a gymnast for 13 years.
Really?
And then I quit and was told I had to keep doing a sport, and so I quit in the summer. And I was like, all right, so I'll try cheerleading as an 8th grader. And I was gonna try youth cheer, but it was the first year they were allowing 8th graders to do high school sports, so they bumped me up to high school.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just started cheerleading, but you have that gymnastic background, which I'm sure is very helpful in
Yes.
cheer.
Very.
For a long time, cheerleading was basically you sat on the bench or you stood on the track and you really didn't do much. But anyone who's gone to any one of those games will know that cheerleading is much more of, you're almost an acrobatic team now.
Yeah.
Especially the competition team.
Yeah.
Tell me the difference between, you guys are both on the competition squad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we have the Abington High School competition cheerleading squad, and then we have the football game day squad.
Yeah.
That football team squad has about 28 cheerleaders to it.
Yeah. Mhm.
How many are on the competition squad?
I believe we started with
15.
15, yeah. And then we ended up bumping down to, was it 10 or 11?
I think it was 11.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you? I'm assuming you enjoy the competition squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, kind of more intense and I'm sure a
Yes.
workout for you guys.
Yes, it is.
When do you practice? Where do you practice? How do you put it all together?
We practiced every day after school at like 4:30. We had to roll the mats out every day and roll them back up after practice. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot.
Do you enjoy it too?
Yeah.
The competition part of it? I mean, you as a gymnast, it must be something that you...
I enjoy the competition part.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, obviously with the competition, you have the, what do you call it, the flyers, the girls that get
That's-
thrown, right?
Yeah.
Neither one of you are the
No,
flyer?
that's me.
That's
That is
Makayla.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah, we have her doing some crazy things sometimes.
Such as what? What do you do as a flyer? How do you train as a flyer?
It's a lot of like just like core stuff. Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to hold your own weight. So like they have me like flipping and like twisting and turning up in the air.
So when you're physically practicing, twisting and turning in the air, when they're throwing you,
Yeah.
what is under you? Because I'm sure they don't catch you every single time.
Just the hardwood floor and then like what is it, like an inch
Yeah.
of foam mat?
It's just that same mat
It's
that
a
you...
little-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little inch of foam mat, and then I have 3 people under me, and that's
No
it.
broken bones?
That has happened, yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness, and I'm sure I've seen some of the cheerleaders with injuries
Yeah.
from what
Yeah.
you go through. Now, you guys had a pretty successful competition squad. You actually competed out at the States.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Where were the States held this year?
States is held at Worcester State, and we got invited this year to compete. We are in the co-ed division, so we compete against any co-ed teams that also got invited to the States.
And there must be dozens of cheerleading squads out there from
Yeah.
all over Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So it's a day of it, and
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
entitled to, what do you do, one routine?
Yeah.
And we spend all season, like we get the routine in August, and that one routine is what we practice every single day, just for the
Do you
competitions.
get sick of it, or do you really like watching it get tighter and improving it?
It gets like, it's kind of cool how it all forms, because at first, like, you don't really like, it takes a lot to learn, and then
Yeah.
like you can like see the progress as like everyone's like slowly like getting better at, like
Yeah.
it's all like muscle memory, because
Yeah.
you have to like remember what you're doing like all the time. So.
And not everyone's doing the same thing
Yeah.
at the same time, so it's a bunch of moving parts. So like
Yeah.
when one thing's off, sometimes it's hard to tell, but then like it's also very noticeable when someone's like off.
Yep.
So like when it all comes together, it looks like good.
I mean, it's really well choreographed. So who choreographs? How do you guys put that all together? You see all these different schools have their different routines.
Yeah.
Do you put it together? Do you hire someone? What happens?
We hire someone to choreograph it every year, and it's like a 9 to 10 hour day. It's
Really?
like, yeah, we're at the school all day. We start at like 11 a.m. and we're here till like 8 or 9.
And do they provide the music and the choreography as a package to you?
No,
or do you
just
put
the
music?
choreography.
We
Just
get
the choreography.
and then we have to make like we have to fill out like a sheet to like make sure all like the timing works out, and we send that to a music company, and then they put it all together for us.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Intense. So
Yeah.
now on a game like football game day, you switch over and you have 28 cheerleaders out
Yeah.
there on the track and out of the field at halftime or whatever. That's a whole different experience for you guys.
Yeah.
What is it like? I mean, is it more kind of relaxed for you, more fun, more of a social thing, or some? Tell me about that experience.
I'd say it's definitely more relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I enjoy competing a lot more than I enjoy games.
I do too.
So like games are fun sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but like I just enjoy the competition more. But we practice with the full team once a week.
Yeah.
And so like we just do like basic things with them. Like
Well, 28 members, you've
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
kind of keep
it-
it simple.
yeah,
yeah, it's
Right.
hard.
Oof. Now, when you're doing the competition, or even if you're doing the game day stuff, is there another cheerleading squad from other schools that you guys really kind of want to always try to beat?
Yeah, there's a few.
Get
teams.
anything you want to name? This is only broadcasting habit.
This year, or whenever we became co-ed, I would say like Grafton,
Foxborough and
Foxborough.
Grafton have probably been our biggest
They're co-ed
competition.
too?
They're co-ed
Yeah.
teams.
Because
They're
we're
small
because you
co-ed.
have Sam on
Yes.
the team, right?
Yeah, we're small co-ed.
Sam's not a flyer. I'm gonna. He's one of the guys
Yeah.
catching it,
Yeah.
right? Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good. So tell me then, when you're not doing cheerleading, like moving forward into the winter, into the spring, what are you doing? Are you going to take a break? Are you going to be involved in any other school activities? What are you?
Yeah, I'm like taking a break. I don't do any other sports besides cheerleading. I'm getting ready for school, so gonna work.
What about you, Makayla?
I work and I have like cheer privates that I'm gonna start doing, and then possibly lacrosse.
So I asked you earlier where you guys work, where your part-time jobs are, in both places that I am familiar with. But first, Makayla, where do you work?
I'm a hostess at the Abington Depot.
All right, on Railroad Street. So if you go to the depot, look out for Makayla there.
And I work at Dairy Queen, but not the Abington one. I go to Hanover.
Go to Hanover.
Yeah.
So if anyone's in Hanover, check out, see if Maeve's there. What you mentioned, you're getting ready for school, meaning college.
Yeah,
You're a senior. Senioritis kicking in yet?
a little bit, a little bit. Yeah,
A little early, but
yeah. It's getting the time of the year. I'm applied to all my schools, so I'm just waiting to.
What are you looking
finish
at?
hearing back.
Big school, small school, nearby, far away?
I'm looking nearby. I want something bigger,
Yeah.
but I really like Merrimack College. I like UMass Amherst a lot. I want to go into special education.
Great.
So
It's
that's
a good field. Those are two good schools.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with either one of
Yeah.
them. You're looking forward, well, you're in the middle of your junior year. you
Yeah.
know. Senior year, got to be different, something to look forward for you.
Yeah.
What do you do, like right now, as you're walking through the halls? You got a favorite teacher or favorite class that you really either enjoy or get a lot out of?
Miss Daisy. I think any of her classes. I take 2 of her classes right now. Her classes they're fun. They're really they're easygoing, and they help you a lot. I take Life 101. I just learned all about budgeting and a bunch of different stuff.
Really?
All helpful things that I'm gonna need going into the real world next year.
That's great. So
Yeah.
I'm curious. So that I think is really helpful instead of the stuff you read in a book, the
Yeah.
how to survive.
Yeah.
So what else do you learn? You learn budgeting, fiscal management.
Yeah, we do we had a small talk. We had how to do small talk. We did etiquette the other day, dinner etiquette
Really?
in different places, how to use your etiquette and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's
It's just little
invaluable.
things, yeah, that
Yeah.
you wouldn't think you need to know, but and we did stuff about which car we should buy, if it's worth buying a brand new car, a used car, and go through the whole
And what's your
process.
tip to the viewers at home?
I decided on buying a used car, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
Especially when you're young.
Yeah.
Buy the used car.
Yeah.
And that's a great, what's it called, Life 101?
Yeah, that's Life 101.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a very interesting class.
Yeah.
And very worthwhile. What about you, Makayla?
I would definitely say Miss McHugh has
Yeah.
helped me. She's an English teacher.
And do you like the subject, or is it just the way she teaches?
I like English, but Miss McHugh, like as a person, I would definitely say is just like a very good like influence, role model. She's like a good person.
I mean, you guys are now, this new school we're in, the middle high school, I was actually on this building committee. So now it's, 7 years old or whatever. But it's a pretty cool school, building-wise. All of the things like this cable TV studio, the auditorium, the gym. Do you think there's a pretty good positive kind of mojo at Abington High School, or is it just something, a grind every day?
I would say there's like positive. I feel like walking through the halls, I feel like everyone's usually pretty happy, and like I feel like everyone likes to be here.
Yeah.
A lot of support amongst your friends. I mean, every once in a while, I mean, everyone has a bad day, and so there's a lot of camaraderie amongst, and even with the relationship with some of the guys in your classes. I mean, some pretty good relationship you're building here.
Yeah, I would say I'm making good friendships that I hope last when I go to school.
That's great. And you talked about you might play lacrosse.
Yeah.
Might. We're thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to friends about it, or?
Yeah, well, I've been playing since 7th grade, but it's just not like what I've fully enjoyed as much. But one of my captains from cheer, who's one of my close friends, is also possibly a captain for lacrosse. So she really wants me to do it.
Who's that? Give her a shout.
Taylor D'Ambra.
Oh, Taylor. Okay.
Taylor.
Yeah. That's right. Well, ladies, it was fun watching you guys in this fall, and it's going to be interesting to follow you and see where you go to college and how you finish out your senior year. And Makayla, we got a whole another year and a half of you, so maybe you'll be back on the buzz to give us an update as a senior. But I want to thank you for joining us and kind of, again, educating the viewers at home about the good things and the good people that are here at Abington High School. So thank you for joining us. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring in 2 other representatives of our student-athlete crowd. There'll be 2 males this time, and you have to wait and see who they are when we come back from a real quick break of The Buzz.
Woo!
All right, we are back with the second half of The Buzz here from Abington High School. And for the second half, we've invited two male student athletes to join me. And they may be familiar faces to a lot of you who walk the halls here at Abington High School. And for any of you who go to some of the sporting events, I want to welcome aboard Michael Reilly and Kevin Lopes. Welcome aboard, gentlemen.
Hello, hello.
Interest of full disclosure, Michael is my nephew, but we're not going to treat him any specially here and try to pepper him with real deep and intense questions, but not really. Guys, you guys are seniors, both seniors.
Yep.
Just finished a real fun year on the football field, a really successful year. I think you finished 8-3. Kevin, had to mean a lot to you as a senior because tell us, you missed your entire junior year as an athlete. What happened?
So going into my junior year, like during a summer league basketball game, I went up for a layup and I tore my right ACL. So I had to get surgery, and it caused me to be out for the entire year. So I was sidelined, and just tough going practice, the games and watching everyone play.
Yeah, credit to you. You were there all game, but you had to watch.
Yeah, so it was tough, and then getting back into it is also tough, conditioning, being careful of my knee and stuff. So it took me a little bit to get back into the grind, but it worked out in the end.
So throughout your junior year, in addition to going to some practices, going to the games, you were going through physical therapy.
Yeah, I had it 3 times a week at Bay State in Abington on the Brockton Ave, I believe.
Brockton Ave, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd just go through squats, all the stuff they had me doing, and then sometimes I'd be with Miss Reed, the trainer here.
Yeah, Miss Reed at the Abington High School athletic trainers, always very helpful with
Yep.
little injuries, little cuts, and also some of the bigger knee injuries.
Because I think it's her cousin, Derek Nuttall. He
Yeah.
also went through it, so she knew a lot about it too.
Yeah, that was an incredible recovery with Derek a couple of years ago, and he was back playing as a senior, and we're great
She
to hear.
got him back quick.
Yeah, we're going to have you back now playing as a senior
Yes.
in the basketball season coming up. But Michael, you were the quarterback for the football team.
Yep.
Very successful year once again. It went into the playoffs and, of course, beat Whitman Hanson on Thanksgiving Day, a nice home game. Very muddy game, but a fun game. Was it a great way to end the career?
Oh, it was a great game. One of my favorite games I've ever played in, to be honest.
Why is that?
It's well, first half it was just a little rain, and then I threw 2 touchdowns, which one of them was pretty big milestone for me.
Yeah.
But the second half started getting raining, got really muddy, and it was just it was just great, getting all muddy, just sliding so far. I had a great time.
Yeah, you had a lot of mudslides after the game too. The whole
Yep.
team was sliding. But you just mentioned a pretty good milestone. It was a very big milestone. It was a Abington High School career record. Congrats, you broke the all-time Abington High School touchdown pass record, which used to be 30 touchdowns, held by a guy named Brian McSherry.
Yep.
He was in first place. There was a guy in second place with 29, and that happened to be your father, Ed Reilly, who's now the coach. So going into your Thanksgiving Day game, you're tied at first with 30. And what happened? How did you break the record?
I broke the record on a 45-yard pass, but it was really a 5-yard pass to Leland Fry, and that's got to be like a second, third catch of the year, and he's never had a receiving touchdown. So
Right.
I threw it to him on a check down, and he just ran up the sideline. Great blocking from Kingston, and Jake McSherry actually got tripped and took out another guy with them. So
Yeah, and some great tightrope walking by Lee down the sideline. You're right. So a little pass out onto the flat becomes a 45-yard touchdown, breaks the record at 31, and then later in the game you threw to another great receiver. What about that one?
That was a fake jet sweep where I threw it deep to Chris Patterson. Chris Patterson had a great year for us. That was a great catch right there. He had a few great diving catches all year, and it was, I could always trust him to throw to him.
Outstanding. You see it as playing in the line. Are you a lineman or are you?
I'm a left tackle.
Yeah, so you know how important the line is to make these pass plays work.
Yep.
I was a former lineman myself, so I'm the brotherhood. So seeing some of the catches that were made too. Mike, you throw a great ball, but on the other end of it, the first game of the season, we have a ESPN grab in the end zone against Duxbury. Talk about that one. That was fun to watch.
I wasn't on the line yet at that point
Yep.
because I was just getting back into it. But usually as a lineman, you don't really see those catches until you're watching it back on the replay after the game. So it's just...
That was Salamini, right?
Yep.
Ryan just extending, diving into the end zone. And then later in the year, Chris Patterson had a great one. You remember throwing that one?
Yeah, that was against Winthrop. My line was great all year, so I had plenty of time to throw these deep balls. And it's Ryan Salamina's catch, to be honest, I didn't think he caught it. I thought it was dropped until I saw the ref throw his hands up, and I was hyped.
It was unreal. There was some real great plays from on both sides of the ball this whole year. It was fun watching you guys play, and I think this season we didn't know what we were going to get. We had a good, solid season, but next year, I know you guys are moving on. This Abington football team is packed and stacked for next year. Talk about some of the underclassmen coming up.
I mean, yeah, our senior class, I mean, it wasn't that big, only a few starters that are leaving, so including all my receivers. So quarterback up next, no excuses for him, really. And the line was young, too. A few sophomores, Big T, Matthew Pfeiffer, Andrew Van, the center. Like, it should be really good next year.
Yeah, I mean, really, you guys are stacked. And now we move on, and you're just starting now the basketball season. And both of you are on the Abington High School varsity basketball team. Kevin, what's the forecast for this season? What are you thinking?
I think, we had a solid season last year. We have a lot of guys coming back with the loss of Connor Pease as a starter.
Yeah.
So I think we have a bright future ahead of us for the season.
You agree with that, Michael?
All right, for sure.
So let's talk about what we got. I mean, I've been to one of your scrimmages, and we had a nice event last night. You're one of the starting guards, and you got Kingston Maxwell is the real deal. He's been really working hard in his game, and you can see it. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
Oh, for sure. No one can guard him in our league, really. I mean, one-on-one, he's going to get a bucket 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
And this year, he got a little more bounce. Like, he can dunk really easily now, and it's pretty cool to watch. Hopefully, I can throw some lobs to him. And then Tyler Stady, he's just a walking bucket.
He's money. Yeah.
For real. He just doesn't miss.
I mean, you guys got a great mix. So you've got Maxwell, who can shoot from outside, drive inside. Stady is deadly from the three-point line, but can also drive and bring the ball up. And then you got the big man in the middle, Jake McSherry, who is he's hard to move out of the paint.
Yep. It's tough in practice to play against him.
Which is good for you, because then when they call your number and you get in there, you know, you're another big guy that it's going to be hard for the next guy. Or if you've got two big guys in there, I mean, I think you guys got a lot of different pieces this year.
Yeah.
They're going to work well together. And then your younger brother, Jack, who is the upcoming quarterback you just referenced, he's a sophomore now.
Yep.
He's going to get a lot of play time. He's currently on the starting rotation as an outstanding guard, a left-handed shooter.
Yep.
So really, defenses are going to have a lot of things to worry about when they're playing Abington. Any one team in particular that you're really looking forward to playing this year?
I mean, our non-league games I'm excited for. I mean, Coach Torino and Bud said this is the hardest schedule they've ever seen for their basketball team. So, like, all of our non-league games, like, we play Burke, New Bedford, Wachusett, teams like that, Weymouth twice, I believe. So just playing those bigger schools and those better basketball teams, I'm excited to see how we match up against them.
What do you think about?
Just topping off what he said, like, kind of like with football, when we play Duxbury, you don't get too many chances to prove like you're better than what like other people think. You get to show like you're the true underdog. So it's good to play like good teams and show that you can play up divisions and stuff.
It is really interesting because you know, every school has their ups and downs, you know, each year, and this year is going to be one of the ups for Abington. So kudos to your coaching staff. So instead of, you have your base league schedule, and then you have a couple of nights where you play non-league games like you just alluded to, and you could go out and play some like average competition and just kind of get a couple more wins, but that's not the mentality this year.
Yeah.
They've scheduled some really tough, some opponents that are divisions above you that are going to, you know, frankly, you might have 2 or 3 losses early in the season because you're playing these really tough teams. But that's going to pay off at the end of the season for you guys and throughout, because you're going to be ready for the best of the South Shore League, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
mean, the goal is to win every single game. That's my goal. I'm going to win everything I can. But yeah, with the new standings, like the strength of schedule is a big deal with the standings. And last year, like our strength of schedule was really down, but we only lost like 3 games, but we were still like a low seed because of our strength of schedule. So hopefully it helps us out this year.
So in other words, like if you beat New Bedford, you get more points when they're setting up the playoff brackets than if you beat Hull.
Yes,
something like
correct.
that, right? And you're playing New Bedford, and you're playing, who else? Weymouth, I think it was. Wachusett.
Yeah.
We're going to Wachusett to play? Is that a travel game?
Saturday game.
All right, it's a nice ride, but it's a ride. So I'm really looking forward to it. And tell me about when you guys are playing in the gym. I'm playing the music, the crowd's in there. Do you hear the crowd? Do you hear what's going on, or are you just kind of focused on what you're doing out there?
I mean, I'm definitely focused on what I'm doing out there, but when there's a crowd, when it's loud, I definitely makes it a lot more fun. Gets me makes the game a lot more exciting. I don't know. The crowd makes everything better, really, away and home. But our home games have usually been a lot more louder than most of the away games we go to.
I get a sense that your student body knows this is going to be a fun basketball year, that we're going to see pretty good crowds early in the season. Usually it builds up over time.
Yep.
What are you thinking, Kevin? Are you hearing any excitement in the hall?
We try to get our buddies to get to the game, and then them bring their other friends and the underclassmen, and just hope there's a good crowd, cheer us on, and yeah, so it's a better atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, Abington Cam tapes all the boys and girls games and the volleyball games and the everything, hockey games, but there's still nothing like being there in the stands.
Yep.
And you know what I really like is the guys on the bench for Abington basketball. Used to be they just kind of sit there years ago, but now they're into it. I mean, they're, if anything, bringing it really, the energy out there, even more than the fans. Who gets that going? Who organizes that?
It's really like all of us. Like Jack, he's a big promoter for that.
Yeah.
And last year when I was sidelined for the entire season, I tried to be a big part of it. But it's really just our defense chants and screaming for our players to get better.
Just sophomore year, me and Kevin were on varsity, but we both didn't really play that much. But we would tell you that's one of the funnest years we've had. We had a great time on the bench, just getting rowdy every single game.
Why not, right? It just makes it so much more fun, and I think it feeds whoever is playing. They know they've got a bunch of guys right there behind them and all. And it's fun to watch. And one of the things I think is impressive with your team is you've got a real good offensive core, but you also stress defense. And you've got really an intense, quick to the ball defense. Talk about the defense a lot. Do you guys push that during practice?
Oh, we're always pushing defense in practice. Even when we're doing offensive drills, defense, we want to be a lot of pressure, hustle. We want to get every loose ball. This defense was championships.
Yeah. Tell me, being in shape for football is different than being in shape for basketball.
Correct.
In what way?
Well, my sophomore year, I found that out when I joined the varsity team, because that's where the real conditioning is. So first day of tryouts, I get there and I'm gassed after, and I'm like, wow, this is way different than football.
Yeah.
So it's just different muscles. You're moving a lot faster. You're moving all the time. You're not stopped. Football, it's a 10-second play.
Right.
Basketball, you're just constantly moving.
Yeah, a lot of sprinting, a lot of diving, especially this guy here. Not shy about being on the floor. Who are the teams that you're looking for, though, in the league that you really kind of either think are going to be the best challenge, or it's just someone you want to beat?
Well, first game, Sandwich for sure. They were only league loss last year, so I've been waiting for that one for a while. And then Noel, they're always really good, so I'm excited for that game too.
And I think we have a great doubleheader on December 23rd. I know, depending on when you see this show, but if you're around on Monday, December 23rd, we have girls varsity and boys varsity at home playing against Rockland at a 5:30 and 7 o'clock game. So if you really, that's a great. I love the varsity doubleheaders. You enjoy those too? I mean, I think the crowd loves that.
Yep. I mean, the girls' games sometimes don't get as much support.
Yeah.
So it's good that we're there to cheer them on, because usually we're away, they're home, or we're home and they're away. So it's good for that to happen sometimes.
That's great. Now, what are you guys playing as seniors? We're moving on. I know you're only in your fall semester. You get the whole spring semester. What are you planning for the spring? Anything? Do you kind of take the spring off? You playing another sport? What are you doing?
I'm planning to work most of the spring.
Yep.
Because I'm heading to college and need to save up for college.
What about you?
I mean, right now, I'm kind of undecided. I was thinking about lacrosse for a little bit, but right now I'm doubting it, to be honest.
So what do you do when you graduate? You're both looking at colleges. Kevin, what do you look? What interests you, and what do you want to go for?
I want to major in electrical engineering, but also business.
Yep.
I kind of think it's interesting. So I applied to some business schools like Bentley and Bryant, but I also applied to UMass Amherst, WPI, Wentworth, all for electrical engineering.
Yeah.
But currently, I'm leaning more towards the engineering side.
Can't go wrong with any of those schools. We're very fortunate up here in New England with all the different schools you got. Mike, what are you looking at?
I mean, probably away from New England. Like my older brother Eddie at Clemson, I find out if I get into that school today.
Yeah.
So that's up there. So if I get in, then I might go there. But other schools like Notre Dame, UNC, those are both really hard to get into. But if I get in, like, could end up there too.
UNC, well, we just found out Coach Belichick's going to be coaching football there.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Clemson, Duke. You still interested in Duke?
Duke, yeah.
So it's interesting. I always love hearing, like, some kids like to stay in New England. I stayed in New England. Some kids like the big schools. It's just different feels, and you got to find what you like, right?
Yeah.
And you can always visit your friends in the small schools or in the large schools or whatever. Let's talk about some of the other guys, though, on your basketball team this year, because I want to circle back to that. Tyler Stady made a name for himself the last couple of years. People started. It was funny to watch you guys play teams that didn't scout you. Even when you played in Boston against Charlestown last year, they had no idea. They didn't think it was an issue, and you guys took the lead over the number one team because they didn't know that Stady was deadly. They didn't know that all of you guys can hit the shot. But let me talk about Tyler for a second. I mean, tell me what he brings to the team.
I mean, he just doesn't miss, really. I mean, 3-pointers, I think he was above 40% last year, which is crazy with the amount of threes he takes. I mean, him and Kingston, I bet they both hit 1,000 points this year, which is crazy as juniors.
Yeah.
So, this every time you drive, and especially with Jake, too, Jake McSherry, feeding him one of the best post threats in our league and division, that, opens the floor with our spacing for more 3-pointers, and Tyler and our whole team can really knock him down.
I was going to say the same thing. I think that's what's the beauty. I mean, if you're a team that doesn't have a 3-point shooter, the defense can kind of collapse inside and try to prevent it from getting inside. But just in your case, if they start coming out against Tyler or against you, you're going to dump it into the big man. And talk about Jake. He's got great hands for a big guy.
Yeah, he played tight end in the football season, so clearly his hands are pretty solid.
Yeah.
And 6'7", 250 pounds. It's hard to play without fouling him because I know in practice I tend to smack him a couple times.
And I think what's one of the solid things about this team too is the guys coming off the bench are all good height, good athletes, good players. You got Chris Patterson, Van Luling, yourself.
The Ward brothers.
Oh yeah, Liam and Brendan Ward.
Jake Tickenoff, he's also very good.
Tickenoff, yeah, he's a monster out there. Just a great rebounder. He's always in the play. I mean, that's what you can't play with 5. You need more than 5 to win these games. And talk to me what it's like to be that guy that comes off the bench.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get into the rotation, but Jake Tickenoff coming in for Jake McSherry, big guy who wants to play. He's aggressive. He will grab every board. He's guarding the guys who are a couple inches taller than him. And then we have Chris Patterson coming in to handle the ball, maybe shoot a couple shots when other people are covered. So it's good to have those kids on the team.
And you get the Ward brothers, who are both sophomores, right? Good height, natural athletes, still getting better in the game every week, really. They're getting better. I mean, they bring a lot to Abington High School sports.
Yeah, Liam and Brendan, they're both they're tall and they're really long, and they're 2 of the best rebounders on the team. They go after every rebound, and they end up getting most of them with their length and height. So it's great to have them as a team.
Yeah, I mean, I bleed green, so I'm excited for this season. I can't wait. Usually the games are Tuesdays and Friday nights, usually a couple of Monday night games. And if people are interested, you can go to arbiterlive.com, ARBITER live.com, and you can pull up Abington High School. It has all of the different teams, and you'll get the schedules because it's just a great night to go there and have a little fun. Bring your kids, bring your best buddy, whatever you want to do. Go out and have a pizza afterward, like the rest of us do. What do you guys, while you're in high school, as the student part of the student athlete, I asked the girls earlier, and I just like to ask this question, get a little feedback from what's going on in the classrooms. You got a favorite class, favorite teacher? What do you like about Abington High School?
I mean, my favorite teacher has got to go to Mr. Foley. I currently have 2 classes with them, computer science, AP Computer Science and engineering, and I've had 2 or 3 classes with him in the past years too. So, I mean, I like his classes, the format. They're really independent and problem solving, but if you're stuck, he'll help you, and he's very personable with me.
Yeah.
So I have to give him a shout out.
Great. How about you, Kevin?
I like most of my teachers. I tend to have a small relationship with them, ask how their day is, then they help me out. But Mr. Foley, I also have him for the same kind of classes. And he's just a really good guy. Helps you out, teaches you like life problems, life lessons. So I enjoy his class.
And before we go, I want to wrap up because I know you guys appreciate this and see this, but the Abington Green Wave Boosters are a bunch of parents and people in town that try to raise money and support all the sports, and they do a lot of stuff that people don't see that necessarily. Whether they're buying the Letterman's jackets or we're actually going to start repairing the concession stand, they're in there selling burgers just to raise money for you guys and to kind of make your experience at Abington High School just a lot more fun, or sometimes safety equipment, a lot more safer stuff. Do you guys really realize, I think you get a sense of how much the community really, what Green Wave Nation is and how much they support and enjoy watching you guys play. You get a sense of that? Do you really feel the support from your community around you?
Oh, I definitely do for sure. I mean, community, I've been pretty grown up with it pretty much with my dad.
Yep.
Like, he actually made the Flag Football League, he founded that. So just the community pop up to the games, and we usually have the best atmospheres for really like any sport really. So
it must be kind of fun to know that whenever you're playing this, there's going to be fans in the stands, and that all of your games are on cable TV, on YouTube. You can watch them at any time you want to. So thanks to, again, Kevin Tocci and Matt Lyons especially, who do all the dirty work, and they're taping this show too, so that when you go to college, you can just tell your buddies to sit down and watch this play by Lopes, or watch this play by Reilly, or whatever you want to do. And I forgot to ask one question. What was it like, now that the football season's over, what was it like having your father as a coach? A lot more pressure, make it easier, a better relationship? It was his first year as coach, there's a lot of pressure on him. What was it like?
I mean, nothing really changed since, like, he's been the offensive coordinator and like I coached my whole last 4 years of high school. So nothing changed too much this year. The same format, just we followed what Coach Kell really taught us.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can really ask him about football really anytime I want. Dinner table, just really any question I can put stuff in. Especially as a senior, I had more of a voice. Like, I can ask him to do stuff and he would listen to me.
Right.
So yeah, it was great.
Well, you were kind of known as an intelligent quarterback, which sometimes an intelligent player, whether it's a lineman, you almost want a smart lineman than just a big lineman, that they know what to do. So obviously, just talking to you guys, I think people at home can sense the intelligence level, our electrical engineer over here, and just all the successes you had. So just want to thank you for all the effort that you put into your sports and into this community of Abington High School, and wish you well. How's the knee right now? You 90%, 100%? Where are we?
I'm 100%. I still have to play with the brace.
Yeah.
And it's bulky. Like last night during the event, it kept unstrapping, so it's tough. But I have to wear it to safety measures.
Well, hopefully you'll hear people shouting your name, and if you get to one of these basketball games coming up, Michael Reilly, Kevin Lopes, and all their teammates, they'd love for you to be there and really root them on. It's just a fun time. And Green Wave Hockey's starting up too. If you like hockey, you're going to have some fun watching the Green Wave Hockey. And of course, girls basketball is playing usually when the boys are away, the girls are home, and vice versa. So there's no excuse for not getting off your couch and getting out there to support Green Wave Sports. That's going to be it for this edition of the Buzz. I want to thank Mike and Kevin for wrapping us up. And again, I want to thank Matt Lyons and Kevin Tocci in the control room for putting this together. If we probably won't tape another show before the holidays, so on behalf of Abington Cam and Abington High School and the athletic department, I want to wish everybody a real safe and happy, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. A lot of good things coming this fall on the courts, on the rinks, so we hope you'll see you there and we can kind of spread a little Christmas cheer, let's hope. So thanks for tuning in. Reilly to roll. Near side looking downfield, throws it underneath. Spry. Spry's got it to first down inside the 30. Down the sideline.
He's gone.
Spry tiptoes down the sideline.
Touchdown, man of Muskegon!
A 45-yard touchdown pass.
That's a record-breaking touchdown pass by Michael Reilly. 31 on the career, breaks the record of Brian McSherry. So nice job, Michael Reilly. Congratulations.